It's the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
You are Locked On Cardinals, your daily Arizona Cardinals podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Yes, welcome into the show. It's Locked On Cardinals, part of your Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. This episode brought to you by Rock Auto. Amazing selection, reliably low prices, all the parts your car will ever need. Visit rockauto.com. Tell them Locked On Cardinals sent you, Bo Brack. Follow me on Twitter at BOBRACK. My co-host, Alex Clancy, follow him as well. Verified. Blue check mark. Clancy's Corner. You can find him there. All the hottest of the hot takes. And, man, we've got actually a show full of hot takes today. Can't wait to do it. YouTube, Facebook, Twitter. We're streaming all of those places. Make sure you're subscribed on YouTube. Please follow along wherever you find your podcasts. And, of course, subscribe. Apple Podcasts. Check out our friend Brendan Clean over at Locked On Suns, too, as well. Alex, the Suns one game away from the finals.
I mean, it's absurd. It's absolutely absurd that we're having this conversation. I mean, it makes me jealous that I'm not covering the Suns. A poor time to no longer be at the radio station I was with. Credentials would be fantastic right now if the finals were to come into play. They're one game away. It's absurd, Bo. I mean, it's incredible. It's dreamlike, and everybody that's on the Suns deserves it for different reasons. You know, Chris Paul deserves it. You know, lifetime achievement, never made it to the finals. Monty Williams, all the strife that he's gone through in his life, be fantastic for him to make it to the finals and potentially win. And they could win the championship. Like, they're the juggernaut of the Brooklyn Nets, you know, with injuries and whatever, are no longer an issue. It's pick your poison, Milwaukee, Atlanta. And it looks like from last night that Milwaukee's going to be the team, but who knows? It's going to be exciting either way.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't count out the Hawks, but at the same time, I think that the Bucks are the best team, and that's why I'm covering football right now. But it is weird because, I mean, I've covered the Suns for a long time as well, and we were talking about this off air. It's like, is it even their best team? And it's just, that's how wonky sports is sometimes, that you can find a path. And you brought up the Warriors' first championship, that they had actually had the luxury of facing some teams that were, you know, they didn't have their star players in the lineup. You can point out that the Cavs were only down. They just basically had LeBron James because Kyrie Irving and Kevin Love were hurt. And the Suns have faced and seen similar luck this run throughout this postseason. And then you think about like Steve Nash, Amari Stoudemire, and all those run and gun Sun teams. I don't know. I might just be nostalgic thinking that those were the squads that had more talent, but they ran into, you know, some buzzsaws like the San Antonio Spurs. When you think about, as we covered the Cardinals, the 2015 team, it was like there was one team in the NFC that could beat the Arizona Cardinals, and they did. They blew their doors off in the NFC Championship game. And it was like, that wasn't like a build that the Carolina Panthers were slowly, you know, putting together. They just showed up, and then they were a buzzsaw, and they went 15-1, and then absolutely took care of business against the Cardinals, who didn't have Tyrann Mathieu in that NFC Championship game because of his torn ACL. But it is interesting just how sports work, how it's just, if it's your year, it's your year. It takes some luck in this thing.
Yeah. I mean, also, and this is becoming so obviously apparent that people always forget going into the playoffs. You have to be able to have a half-court offense to win. You've got to be able to win ugly. You can't just shoot 53s and hope 17 or 18 go in and you win. Like, this shows the importance of Chris Paul and the ability to slow the game down. Even though people are saying, yeah, run and gun with the Clippers, that's fine. So many more things can happen that are out of your control in that regard. It's like being able to run the ball when you're up 10 points going in the fourth quarter.
No doubt. I mean,
if we're going to transition to the Cardinals, that's what being able to run a half-court offense is like during the playoffs. And you can say whatever you want about, running. Chris Paul has been one of the slowest players we've ever seen from the point guard position. He's methodical. He's a ball-dominant guy, obviously. You don't need to run and gun with him. He has the ability, like the Spurs did against the 2000 Suns, to just slow the game down and break Steve Nash's nose. You know, that's what you do to win a championship.
Yeah, it's an interesting point. And you know, we know the Arizona Cardinals, as we continue this kind of analogy, like they can defend they can defend enough, right? But can they finish? when they need it? Can they take the air out of the football? Can they do that? Can they have somebody to kind of run point, churn clock? And, that is a big question going into the 2021 season. Let's get into our show a little bit here. We do have details on Zaven Collins' arrest from last week. We're going to kind of put that conversation to bed. We've already done that a little bit. But there was a big issue over the weekend, Alex, Tight End University, and I was all about the Tight End University. I loved all the content coming out of it. Just watching Travis Kelce, a guy at the top of his craft, take the time and try to grow the position like he and George Kittle and Greg Olsen were doing. I'll geek out on that stuff. I love it because you and I are passionate sports fans. To see guys who appreciate it and are just as passionate from their side of things, I'm here for it. I just am. And to see him kind of break down route running to like close to 50 tight ends in the NFL, you just have to appreciate it.
Yeah, it's weird and it's awesome.
Yeah.
Like this stuff doesn't happen. There's been an overall shift in professional sports where, sure, you have your outliers of people that genuinely don't like each other on the field and off the field. But now it's just a brotherhood. It's us versus them.
Mm-hmm.
We're NFL players, and we're gonna like the fact that George Kittle and Travis Kelce like each other is a new phenomenon. It used to be, I'm the best. No, I'm the best. No, screw you. No, I'm whatever. Like, the whole thing. Twitter has made people loathe each other for no reason whatsoever. And then you have all of these things now where people are just becoming friends and they're doing things like this, helping younger tight ends make it in this league. And it's great. I mean, it's unfortunate that the Cardinals don't have anybody, representing the Cardinals at tight end U. Yeah. But I mean, it's a beautiful, it's a weird thing. And it's awesome.
It's a big time problem.
Yeah.
In my opinion, that the Arizona Cardinals were not represented. I was looking it up. Was Max Williams there or not? I mean, he's probably the only candidate that would have made like Tim Tebow. It was headlines that he didn't get invited. It's like, okay, look, Tim Tebow doesn't have to be included in every single thing just because he told everybody he's going to try to play tight end. I get that. And George Kittle said, hey, look, lack of experience. We only had so much space. And I get that. But the Arizona Cardinals, this is the reason Tight End University exists, is because there are organizations in today's game where that position is so important. Just look at the last few Super Bowls. Look at last playoffs. 13 touchdowns from the tight ends. It is a huge position. You have to have a good tight end. And the fact that the Arizona Cardinals don't have one of 49 guys, that's a big time issue. Huge.
Yeah. So right now, would you rather have another corner or a tight end right now?
I think I would rather have, because here's my belief, and I'm playing a little devil's advocate because I think that Steve Keim, he had some thoughts, and we'll tell you what they were.
Oh, goody.
By the end of this podcast, but it doesn't pertain to this. But I think Steve Keim and the organization believes that they're set at cornerback. They believe in Robert Alford. They believe in Malcolm Butler. They believe in Byron Murphy. Tight end is a big time. They're scrambling to find somebody who can be a playmaker.
Yeah, I agree. And the reason why I agree is I think the bigger need is at corner personally, but I think that tight end is the right call because if the offense is not the strength of this team, why is Cliff Kingsbury here? I'm going to continue to say that. Why, if the offense isn't the strength of this team, do you have an offensive-minded head coach who was brought in to run a high-powered offense? And sure, the offense has gotten better and better from 2019 to 2020, and I'm sure it'll be better now with the weapons that they signed this offseason or traded for. But you need as many weapons as Cliff Kingsbury can handle this year to really see what this offense can do at an NFL level. And that's the main reason why I would say tight end. There are guys out there. Trey Burton is out there. For fantasy football players, people know who Trey Burton is because you've either been burned by him once or you've burned somebody just randomly when he'll have a handful of touchdowns in a 4 or 5 game span. We saw flashes. He wouldn't be expensive, and you could just sign him today. You could sign, hey, Trey, be an Arizona Cardinal. Cool, I'm in. That's it.
I mean, he's the guy that threw the pass on the Philly special.
Yeah.
I mean, you can do a lot with a guy like Trey Burton. You can. I'm not saying, look, get him, design a gadget play just like the Philly special, but I'm saying like there's versatility there. There's playmaking. That's what they don't have in the locker room right now. Delaney Walker, isn't he available? I saw he was at tight end U. I mean, Delaney Walker.
He's 100 years old.
He is 100 years old, but he's better than what they have right now in the building. He's more of a proven commodity. Sure. Is there a ton of mileage on those tires? Yeah. Is he going to break down by week 9? Probably, but at least you'll get some playmaking real quick. I mean, here are some of the guys that potentially could be available that were at tight end U. OJ Howard, right? You had
we've been talking about him forever. We've been talking about him forever.
You had a Hayden Hurst. He's with the Falcons. You know, what's his role with Kyle Pitts down there in Atlanta? I think Hayden Hurst could be had for a decent price tag if you want to go trade for him. Zach Ertz was there. I mean, there are options available. Which one are the Arizona Cardinals going to take advantage of? You know, that's the biggest thing. But the fact that they had nobody in the building or on the field at tight end U, big time issue for a position that's just monster in today's NFL. Bo Brack, Alex Clancy, follow along on Twitter at Locked On AZ Cards. Follow us on Twitter. Please do that. And, of course, subscribe to us on YouTube. Like this video. And coming up, Steve Keim, he is content about one position. We'll tell you which one. Plus the details on Zaven Collins' arrest. It has some people still up in arms. They're shaking their fists at the youngsters that are getting on their lawn. We'll tell you all about it. It's Locked On Cardinals. I got to tell you, though, we were talking about the Western Conference Finals. The Phoenix Suns, 5.5-point favorites as that series shifts back to the desert. Can they put it away tonight? You want some of that action? Well, BetOnline is the fastest, easiest way to bet on all your sports action. Baseball season, of course, in full swing. You can track all the D-backs losing action at BetOnline. Get all the latest news, odds, and info for all your sporting needs before the next pitch. Tip basketball. Head over to BetOnline on your laptop, mobile device. Check out all the great sporting news, sign-up bonuses, and contest information. Like right now, if you sign up today, you'll receive a 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. You put in $10, you get $5 to play around with. You want to put in more, you put in $100, you get $50 to build your stack. Don't sit on the sidelines anymore. This is your chance to get in the game. Head to the website, betonline.ag, use your cell, sign up today, get your welcome bonus. It's BetOnline, your online sportsbook experts. All right, so Bo Brack, Alex Clancy here, Locked On Cardinals, streaming live here on a Monday morning. Thank you for tuning in. As always, we're grateful for everybody that listens, interacts with us on social media. Steve Keim spoke to the Cardinals website over the week or just before the weekend, and he was borderline giddy about the quarterback position. Not just Kyler Murray. Everybody's pumped about Kyler Murray and the potential of him going from year 2 to year 3. He made a significant jump from his rookie season to year 2. And, you see Josh Allen, and the sky's the limit. Keim said this as far as the position overall, with the addition of Colt McCoy, the veteran quarterback. He says, quote, because it's arguably the most important position on the field. You always put in time and effort into that position. But I would say my confidence at the position in general is at a real high. Now, close quote. It's pretty, I say his confidence is to the moon, but at the same time, I'd say mine's, real high. Not exactly. Does he have a pulse? I don't know, but I get it. Outside of QB1, I know you like the Colt McCoy acquisition. You like the veteran presence, but I'm not going to sit here and say, look, if that's a doomsday scenario, if K1 goes down, Cardinals, they don't have a chance.
Well, yeah. I mean, unless you want to draft a quarterback in the first round and say, well, we're good either way, then that's for 99% of, NFL history, that's the case. A couple years ago was like they should sign Josh McCown. I thought about Andy Dalton, like just bringing up names of guys that would just bolster the quarterback room to help Cliff Kingsbury teach Kyler Murray how to play quarterback. I mean, that's really what this is. When you look at Week 17, Cardinals could have won that game with Colt McCoy. I mean, in a one game, he knows the offense situation. The Cardinals could have won that game with Colt McCoy. Would they have? I don't know. But There's another adult in the room, and this adult knows he's getting a paycheck to not play quarterback. And that is something that a special person has to come and say, do you want to sign with the Cardinals? I have no chance of playing unless Kyler Murray gets hurt. Cool, I'll do that. Like obviously people want paychecks, so they'll go where the money is, but there are probably other backup jobs that he could sneak into, starting roles if the starting quarterback doesn't perform, just not here in Arizona. So yeah, I like it. This is Steve Keim patting himself on the back. Yeah, I drafted Kyler Murray, guys. I'm happy about it. Shut up.
I just
worry about other things.
Yeah, it's one of those things with Steve Keim where if he is confident about the position, I'm still skeptical about his ability to scout the position. Like, he lucked into Carson Palmer. He sent the Raiders a 7th-round pick, a conditional late-round pick for Carson Palmer. Like, Carson Palmer is done at that time in his career. Mm-hmm. Look, good on the Cardinals for believing in him. But, him, I can't give him full credit. And then as far as drafting quarterbacks, he drafted Logan Thomas in the 4th round. He's playing tight end. He was at tight end, I believe. He's good at drafting a tight end to play quarterback. Yeah. But as far as quarterback, I mean, he whiffed on Josh Rosen. And then he locked into another good quarterback in Kyler Murray. And Kyler Murray giving the Heisman to baseball and deciding to hang up his cleats to play football and wanting to do that. I mean, that's huge for the Arizona Cardinals. I think I'm not confident in his ability to scout the position. It is wild. Let's switch gears here real quick. The details on Zaven Collins' arrest, they came out. Our guy from the Raising Zona website, Aaron Van Buren, put this out there, and in the details were via Josh Weinfuss on Zaven Collins' arrest. He was released at 11:19 a.m., just 37 minutes after he was booked. So quick book. Like, that's was it criminal speeding or was it close to it? In his response to being told he was going 76 miles per hour in a 35, he says, I was not going that fast. After being told the limit was 35, he said he apologized. Look, I mean, the guy he was probably in a brand new sports car that he bought with his rookie signing bonus, and he was going down Chaparral way too fast. I'm not the fact that he said, I wasn't going that fast. He probably hasn't been behind a car with that much juice before. And it can get out of hand. Lesson learned, I would hope. It sounds like somebody that hasn't been in trouble that often was trying to save some face, probably fibbed a little bit, and now he looks bad for it, and he's going to have to face the repercussions for that.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't at 3 a.m. He wasn't drinking.
Right.
I've used this example. It's like a freshman maxing out their first credit card and not being able to pay it back. I mean, that's what it is. It's lesson learned, slap on the wrist, out. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much hopefully open and shut. Don't have to talk about it anymore. Frank Clark got pulled over and he had an Uzi in his car the day after. So just putting things into perspective, could be worse. Could be worse.
There's incidents unfortunately all over the league. And there are guys, I mean, there's, as far as what Zaven Collins did, if you're in an office setting, look to your right, look to your left. Likely those people, look at yourself in the mirror. Most likely you've been speeding and you've put, people in danger. Absolutely. And you'll hopefully learn your lesson. Sometimes you have to kind of swallow your pride and you have to pay a big time ticket. But at the end of the day, you realize you're wrong and You're not going to be as lead-footed as you were before. There you go. It's not like I'm going to say this guy's going to be a bust because, he's not able to own up to the speeding ticket he just got. People drive fast. Go get on the 101 just a little bit, east of where he got pulled over. I mean, there are people zipping around going way too fast. So not to just say, hey, it's fine in my book. I agree. 76 is absurd in the 35, but I'm not going to say that this guy is going to hold himself accountable enough on and off the field to be a success. Real quick, before we get out of here, Hard Knocks has not been announced yet. Alex and I are going to continue to bang the table for the Arizona Cardinals. They're the must-see team of the summer. We're going to continue to discuss that. It's Locked On Cardinals. Make sure you're following along on Twitter at LockedOnAZCards. Here's an awesome thing for this summer. Built Bar has got some of its best flavors in a limited time fashion here at the entire summer. Orange and strawberry.
Yes.
Right now. Yes. Right now, go to BuiltBar.com. Use the promo code LOCK15 and get those bars while they're there this summer. Built Bar is the best tasting protein bar ever. What's your favorite Built Bar flavor? Alex's orange.
Orange.
Yeah, mine, it's a limited time flavor. It's the coconut brownie chunk, but they're not around. When they are, I'll tell you, fam, when they're back. Coconut, almond, cherry, raspberry, mint brownie, peanut butter brownie, double chocolate, salted caramel. Those are your 9 OG flavors you can always rely upon, and they're always tasty, and they're equally as healthy, too. Most flavors have 17 grams of protein, 130 calories, 4 grams of sugar, and 4 grams of net carbs. Our guy Mike hit us up. He bought his first box of bars. He's hooked. Go to BuiltBar.com. Listen to Alex and I when we say this is the best tasting protein bar on the market, because it is. Use the promo code LOCKED15. Get 15% off your next order. That's LOCKED15 for 15% off at BuiltBar.com. Alex, this is your favorite sponsor.
Yeah, Rock Auto, man. So I'm working from home now. It's awesome. I don't like to go out in 115-degree weather like we're experiencing here in Phoenix. So I can just go on my trusty computer and go to rockauto.com for all the car parts that I need. I don't have to go to a chain storefront. I don't have to say, hey, where can I find any of this stuff that I need because I don't know what I'm doing. Rockauto.com's got you covered. Family-owned business. They've been online for 20 years. The prices are reliably low. They're the same for manufacturers and do-it-yourselfers like us. So if it's for your daily driver or you're cool enough to have a weekend little whip you get to drive around, rockauto.com's got you covered. Tail lamps, whatever, paint, carpet, anything you need. Go to rockauto.com. Right, Locked On in there. How did you hear about us box? So they know we sent you. Amazing selection, reliably low prices. All the parts your car will ever need. rockauto.com.
Wrapping up a Monday edition of Locked On Cardinals. Bo Brack, Alex Clancy. You got to listen to the podcast Alex did last week with Josh Weinfuss. This was on the heels of Zaven Collins' arrest. Some interesting insight there. Also, check out our podcast we did with Johnny Venerable from Revenge of the Birds. We did that on Friday. That's against all odds. That's the Arizona Cardinals. They're the favorite to finish last in the division. And that's pretty wild. 10-11. You can't even make even money if you want to bet the Arizona Cardinals to finish fourth in the NFC West. So check out that podcast. That's a fun one. We're talking to Johnny every Friday. One more thing here. So usually at this time of the summer, we know which team is going to be featured on Hard Knocks in August for training camp. Last year, it was the Rams and the Chargers. We've seen the Raiders recently. And there's some criteria, Alex, and the Arizona Cardinals fit every bit of that criteria. You can't have been on Hard Knocks the last 10 years. You can't make the playoffs the last 2 seasons. And you can't have a rookie head coach. Check. Unfortunately, a playoff thing.
I mean, the head coach thing is questionable, but yeah.
It is. But I think you're hard-pressed to find a more entertaining, more must-see team with that fits that criteria for this summer's Hard Knocks. It's got to be the Cardinals. The only other team that I would actually entertain as being equally as entertaining would be Dallas.
Yeah, because you could do that every year. The fact that they haven't been on in 10 years blows my mind.
Yeah.
They don't need it. Like, if you're going to diversify, if you're the NFL, you don't need to do anything with Dallas. Because they're going to get the ratings. They're going to have 19, primetime games a year. That's just what it is with Dallas. If you look at it, completely removed from doing a Cardinals podcast, you have a couple guys that are human interest pieces. If you're NFL fans, J.J. Watt, obviously, A.J. Green. Let's see what he's got juice left in the tank. Malcolm Butler. You can talk about the Super Bowl as much as you want. Let's see, if he's lost a step or if he's still a capable CB1 light in the NFL. And James Conner, cancer survivor. Dude do you remember the picture before last year of his back when he was doing all the workouts? Like, it was on Instagram and Twitter, went viral. The dude is just
shreddo. Yeah, I mean, the guy's just absolutely shredded.
And then you have Cliff. You have wear socks. That's something. You have so many things. And then Kyler Murray, watching him throw tight spirals down the field to DeAndre Hopkins and AJ Green and Rondale Moore, and then the defense. It would be a no-brainer for me.
Yeah, I mean, watching Kyler Murray work in practice would be worthy of tuning in each and every week with DeAndre Hopkins. Watch as our guy Evan Weaver, Cardinals linebacker, former draft pick, said that nobody this is harder than Budda Baker. I'd love to see that. And then, I think this would benefit Cliff Kingsbury. I think it could change the fan base's perception of Cliff Kingsbury. I think because all the reports, all the people we've talked to, the players love Cliff Kingsbury. And that kind of gets glossed over because of everybody's disdain and skepticism about his ability to be an NFL head coach. And I get that, but I think if you get a glimpse of why these guys love him and why he's, considered a player's coach, I think that will start to change people's opinion of him.
Yeah, and on top of all of this is going to be a massive explosion if it doesn't work at the end of the season. So why not just go for it?
Yeah, I mean, you're already all in. You're already pushed all the chips to the middle of the table. Yeah. No doubt about it. This could be horrific if they win 6 games next year. Like, seriously, yes. Keim's gone, Cliff's gone. Who knows what's going to happen with DeAndre? I know he signed an extension. I know he's fantastic we have no idea anymore. Player movement has never been more prevalent via trades than than the last couple of years. So everything is on the table if the Cardinals, have a doo-doo season, for lack of a better phrase. Right.
Like, if they don't win 9 games, everything could change. So why not just say, you know what? Let's go nuts.
Alex Clancy, follow him on Twitter at Clancy's Corner. Follow me, BOBRACK. Follow the show at Locked On AZ Cards. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, please. Like this video. Check out our other videos on our channel as well. There's some great content up there as well. Subscribe on Apple Podcasts. Follow us on Spotify and the Odyssey app. It's a great way to get your podcast. Thanks for tuning in. Have a great rest of your Monday. We'll talk to you tomorrow. It's Bo. It's Alex. It's Locked On Cardinals, part of your Locked On